Okay,
the truth
actually,
comes out.
yeah, that is true. But actually, I can get through one more before the delivery gets here because this one's pretty easy, and I got something big to say about this one because I know that you know this IG, but I don't think I've told Power Gain yet. So flashbacks are a part of post-traumatic stress disorder, and for those people that didn't know, I originally acquired trauma when I was 4, and I was sexually abused, and I've never been able to fully remember it. This one's probably going to need a disclaimer too. But I never remembered it. So I know the time frame and I had put enough together in my brain. Well, I must be healing because just yesterday, I think it was just yesterday, and I want to be very careful how much I talk about it because I want to trigger myself. But I had a flashback of when I was that age. It wasn't of the act, but I now know, I think I now got enough of a feeling that I know where it came from. So my uncle, because I always thought, like something was weird about my time there. My uncle had this girlfriend that I totally forgot existed who had 2 children. And one of them was like between the age of 13 and 15 and used to babysit me. And I'm going to tell you right now, I had a flashback that leads me to believe that, they say that when you have trauma and when you're like dealing with stuff like this, your brain will block it out. And I have memory lapse from, I remember learning how to walk. I even remember my vaccinations before I could walk. I have an incredible memory. But then there is this blank spot for the year that I went through. The next thing I remember, night terrors and going to talk to police and seeing people through plate glass for visitation and all of that kind of stuff. So, but flashbacks, and I have them with he who should not be named's relationship with me. Like all of a sudden, I've never been a visual person. For some reason, during this last year, I've been able to visualize my memories. I am more of a chronological timeline-ish. I won't have the visual recall, but I will know the event. I could probably tell you the date, year, time, possibly. God, it's crazy what my brain does with numbers. But as far as visual recall, I have I haven't ever since I went through. I have a lot before, and then I don't have much after I went through what I went through. So having any form of flashback, like when I can just, I have a couple flashbacks I can't discuss on this stream. But of like this last year. But now that, so the idea is that trauma and complex PTSD can basically build a wall blocking you off of memories and emotions and all of that, right? So as I heal this last time, because I've gone through healing my whole life, but now I'm really, really peeling the onion layers back to the point that, it should make me cry. And all I know is that as those things free up and the healthier I get, the more I am able to handle the memory, the more of a chance it has of coming back. And so when it hit me yesterday, it literally, that fuzzy feeling I used to describe when I was healing after I got out of the psych ward, where it feels like Alka-Seltzer is in my brain. It felt just like that, but I was literally able to visually recall this time that I was over there and they babysat me and they locked me out. I was 3 or 4 years old and we were right by the lake and they locked me. They had a loft upstairs apartment and they locked me out of the freaking apartment while they were watching me. And then it made me realize that that's the moment in time where my memory really starts to deteriorate. And the next thing that comes up is my uncle had moved out of that house and he moved into a different one. And my dad had left us and my mom was taking me to the doctor, but we were staying with my uncle. And that's when I started wetting the bed, having night terrors. Then my mom and I moved into the house that I call the purple shade carpet house. But that's where I was in kindergarten and I literally couldn't go to school because my mom, I would wake up in the middle of the night screaming so much about whatever happened to me that I would lose hours and hours of sleep from my night terrors. So she would have to keep me home from school and it was just her and I, and she had nobody to watch me, and she would have to run out and she would be like, okay, just stay in the bed. And I just remember, I remember we didn't have any money. My dad never paid child support, but I got Mr. Potato Head. I got a Mr. Potato Head. One of the days that she had to leave me to go because I wouldn't leave the house. I was so exhausted that I would lay in her bed, and I was 5 years old and I would not get out of bed after screaming throughout the night. And then she would turn around and she would have to go and get something from the store or whatever. And she literally couldn't even get me away from the house. So I don't even know how much of kindergarten I actually went to. I know I passed, but we moved after that. But my mom put me in child psychology, and I had a psychiatrist, and I kept that psychiatrist until my mom died. So that's the only reason why I think I function at all. I've literally been learning about this shit my whole entire life. So yeah, flashbacks are no fun.
Yeah.
The flashbacks take you back to that moment so you feel like it's happening to you all over again. It's almost like you're re-experiencing the moment right in the moment. And I certainly don't think I want to experience it all the way back. But in this last year, I have those moments. And I think that's what fucks with my emotional like regulation, even still sometimes as I'm healing, is that when I do have a flashback, the feeling of closeness, the passion, the intensity, and the fact that I actually believed I was being truly loved for the first time in my life because of the way I was being treated, because I was literally just a Rubik's Cube. Figure it out and get it straight so you can get what you want, you know, and win the game. That's all I was. But to know that that's what I was like dealing with, and then so now when I flash back to those moments, I think it confuses me from separating this was the extremely unhealthy behavior and how you were being taken advantage of and used, to this is how you felt in that moment, because that flashback literally reinstigates all the way down, sometimes the smell, even down to the smell of being able to smell exactly what's going on. And for me, the funny thing is, the moments where I felt most loved are scarier than the moments where I should have, like, where it may have felt like chaos and abuse. But the moments that feel like love are the ones that scare me the most. So when they recall in my memory now, they literally take my breath away and literally make me be like, oh my God, because it's so scary to think that somebody so fake could transpire that kind of an emotional response in me. And now, because I did have visual recall and I've recalled it, now when I look back and I can visualize it and feel exactly like that in that moment, it is literally haunting. It is haunting. It is not good. It is not a happy memory. It is not a good thing. It is haunting, and it will make me feel like I have lost control of my mind for a brief second, because it just poofs. They're intrusive. It's like, boom, remember this? Oh, you felt like that. And then you're like, oh my God, I missed that feeling. Or, oh my God, that was a scary moment, or whatever. But in that moment, for a split second, as your brain adjusts to it not being real in the moment, you feel every fucking sense that you felt in that moment. And I think it has thrown me off so much in my recovery. So that's me on flashbacks anyways. Our order's here now, so we're going to go get it.